Hello and welcome to One on One. I'm Vernon Ramos and I'm very pleased to say my guest today is the independent candidate for San Fernando West, also a national award winner, Hummingbird Bronze, I believe, Vice President of Animals Alive, successful businesswoman with her spa in South Trinidad, and of course something of a southern celebrity as well, Jowelle Souza. Welcome to the program. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for taking the long drive and getting stuck in the traffic.
I know.
Well, first of all, I never thought I'd see you going into politics.
Yes.
So what was the impetus for you to go into politics, given that you're already running a successful business, you're involved with helping animals with the No-Kill Animals Alive organization? Why?
First to begin, for the last 18 years, we've had both parties, political parties, holding both local governments and central governments at the same time. And we found that nothing, no development, no creation of new jobs, nothing sustainable has happened in San Fernando, absolutely nothing. And so when the election bell, when we thought it would be called, we started to see candidates coming up, and we saw that, you know, the PNM has Faris Al-Rawli and San Fernando has Carolyn Bechan for the PP government. And we found that it would be very difficult if one MP that did not perform go back. And we found it difficult that another person coming from Port of Spain, who is likely to take the election, would not really bring anything to San Fernando because he does not live in San Fernando and he does not know our needs. He doesn't, you know, chances are if they get into government, we may not see him again. And it's another 5 years of a further no business, no development, no jobs. And so businesses in San Fernando are closing up, they're moving, they're migrating to Port of Spain, people are migrating to Port of Spain. Every aspect of San Fernando is migrating to either Port of Spain or Chaguanas.
Now, have you lived in San Fernando your whole life?
My whole life, yeah.
Because I went to school in San Fernando, and it was very vibrant way back then.
That's right.
But from what you're telling me, it's not really kept up that impetus of growing and moving forward.
Not at all. San Fernando has really been a dying city. You see, the MPs that have been there, they are from political parties. And being in a political party, you can't really, if you're in a party, you've got to toe the lines. And that was one of the reasons that made us go independent, because we thought that with the political gurus saying that elections may coming so close, why not go as an independent? We may be able to ask and get more than go under a party where you would have to toe the lines.
Now, I remember a few years ago, Carolyn Bechan being on this program,
Yes.
talking about this exciting plan for the waterfront in San Fernando. It was basically going to be Disneyland in San Fernando. What's happened with that?
Nothing. There is one now. I wish I had brought a picture for you. It is nothing like what it is. I have to actually send that to you to see what it is. The waterfront has stayed as it is, except for a very small portion. I think it's about 20 feet or 30 feet long, that has something on it. It looks nothing like what they had
So there's
planned.
no grand promenade with entertainment and fine
Nothing,
shops and
no.
boutiques and things like that that would
Nothing
attract
like that,
tourists.
no.
And that's one of the problems. I mean, San Fernando has never been a major tourist magnet, has it?
No, it's not. But if you wanted, you can, with all islands in the Caribbean, like St. Martin, Aruba, Turks, and many other islands, they all have this duty-free waterfront, and it's really a very happy time for them. They have a lot of money coming in. Some days they're 8 and 9 ships a day. So you could imagine what their town is like. I work in St. Martin many times, and I do work for their government there, and you would not believe how we even thought of actually the fishermen are close on where we want to develop, and why not use the same fishermen to ferry them off the boats, you know? So we have a really good plan of what a waterfront would be, and it is not as expensive as what people perceive it to be, because the land is already there with a retaining wall. You know, the jetty is there. There is a lot of things that's there already, and it will create diversification, it will create jobs.
No, you're saying people are leaving San Fernando because there are no jobs in San Fernando?
None. A matter of fact, many people that are qualified, they have to come up to Port of Spain, Chaguanas, and these areas to get jobs. So they leave very early. That's the reason why we've got...
I do know people who leave 4 o'clock in the morning to get to town for work.
Like we did this morning. So it's a very difficult, there are just no jobs. The government is not, decentralizing. You know, everything that we need is in Port of Spain. And so we must find us being the second city where so many heroes, so many prominent prime ministers and presidents have come from. We need to bring San Fernando to be the second city.
No, the government also always points to the hospital that they opened as a major contribution that they have made to San Fernando. I take it have very different views. The teaching hospital that was established.
Oh, well, that teaching hospital was really supposed to be a mall / a government agency, as you know, and then they turned it into a teaching facility. But that is not it's not one that, you know, people are using, you know, for a building of that size. So, and really and truly, I've never visited it. I don't think it's really for that purpose. I'm not sure how much of it is being used at this time.
So how would you bring business and revitalize San Fernando?
Well, we have 3 plans that we were thinking about. One is that waterfront. We have been working since last year, September, to bring a model from all of the islands that we have visited. We've actually spoken to the shop owners. We've written to hotels, and we've gotten confirmation from them that once we do a waterfront that is similar to theirs, a green waterfront. You know, many countries are going green, and you know, they would participate in renting, you know, and then we have that foreign revenue come in, just as how these islands very close by are doing. And so our second initiative was to actually be the city of recycling. We would love to see San Fernando, you know, be the first city of recycling, so that we can reclaim some name. You know, we can get back some investment. People will feel a little more better to invest, because the businesses are not opening many days throughout the week. They're opening maybe on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But you know, where we see here in Port of Spain, they're open all the time, and they have there's always some activity compared to South.
I think it's interesting that when you look at any of the development and business in particular in South Trinidad, it's growing up around the San Fernando, not necessarily in San Fernando.
Not at all.
Whether it's in Laramine or with this new movie complex that opened, they're all on the outside of the city, which is meaning the city is sort of being choked off, isn't it?
That's right. And it's because of the fact that, one, the businesses in San Fernando are not developing as they should, because, you know, there is not enough investment in San Fernando. There is not enough initiative in San Fernando. We have many bodies that we have the South Chamber, we have the Business Association, and they're absolutely not getting around to bringing that investment into San Fernando. You know, buildings are not being refurbished as fast enough, so people that will feel comfortable. It is a difference that you know in San Fernando, the warmth of San Fernando. A lot of families have migrated, and because of that, we have a lot of people that are living in the other areas where they don't have jobs. You know, they don't have a proper education. My whole initiative was really to work on a duty-free waterfront and a recycling for San Fernando to create some form of business back to South. Well, because I know of how these models work in the different islands right near us. But what I'm saying is that in that quest, I have met so many people that have no jobs. In Bacadere, there are many people, and they're not employed. You have more than 5 buildings with, I think, 3 to 5 stories, and many of these people have no employment, and they don't have the education that's necessary for it. So that now has been something that we have been working on to see what we can do with this present government right away to bring some relief towards them, you know. If it means for us to put up some form of a schooling where they can do trade and we can incorporate them into some. So since we've launched on Thursday, I've been talking to many business people to see how we can do something to give them some skill, to get them some jobs, because it is not a nice scene to know.
Yeah, but obviously your business has been doing very well. I mean, have you faced challenges as a businesswoman operating in San Fernando?
No, but it is a fight. It is a fight, yes. You have a fight in every step of the way. Many of the business people that I spoke to, when I asked them, well, why is it that you you're leaving San Fernando, or why it is you're closing your building, business is down and you're moving to Shigona, so why are you looking for other investments? They are telling me because of the fact that the corporations are not doing their jobs. They're not having they're not trying to excite business. They're not trying to advertise business for them. Whereas in any good business, you must have a good manager. You must have a good thinker. So if your head is not thinking the way they should, you're not going to have the initiative that you need. So I am not sure of over the years what is the percentage of people that have left, but I can tell you San Fernando is not what it is, whether it be mass, whether it be business, whether it be plays, whether what it is, it's always played down.
No, you're the only candidate running with a business background.
Well,
Do you think that makes a difference?
Well, it has to. We have to make a difference. A lot of people have been asking me, why am I running for a seat when I do have all of that? But then I've been saying to them, well, if not me, who? If we're not going to stand with one another, if we're not going to talk about it, then why come and tell me and you want me to do it? This is the hardest challenge I think I will ever have to face. I've had hard challenges before, as you know, but I've always taken on the hardest challenge. Building that animal sanctuary was one of the hardest in a country that is still don't have proper hospitals, don't have proper everything. And we took a challenge and we've made it into a great success. So why not an independent camp, an independent going for San Fernando? Why is it that they think that we're not going to do that same replica? For that reason, for many people who have asked me, why am I doing this? Why should I not do it? I'm saying I'm doing it for this reason. Because if not, there is nobody else. I don't see other people who are willing to take the stand that I am. We have no reason to do this except for the fact that we know that we can make a contribution. I've got no parties behind me. So it's all about...
You don't have any agenda that we're aware of.
That's
so
right.
You're not
I have no
anything.
other agenda. Yeah. So the thing about it is that it is a fight that I'm willing to take on just for the fact that we must have some accountability in San Fernando. We must bring back some business. We must have some life in San Fernando once again.
Well, we don't even know exactly when the election date is going to be, but obviously it's going to require a lot of campaigning. You don't have the political background or the machinery behind you, so that'll be a lot of work. How do you plan to make time for it?
I'll tell you what we found out about this particular campaign. This particular election, as you know, people are very bitter with the thought of elections. Many people that we went on, that we have been speaking to in all groups, whether it be business, whether it be in Bacadé, whether it be what, they have had a bitter taste towards elections. They don't want to hear about that. Especially a lot of people came out in the last election, as you know. And so it's a very difficult road for you to speak politics, especially in San Fernando. And so it is a difficult road. We are trying really, really hard to show them that this is where we want to go. This is what we need to do. Else we'll just have the same thing again. So for us, we are just working to try to bring about some change in San Fernando, bring back some of the business to San Fernando in some form.
Now, obviously, the people who voted for the COP the last time, it seems many of them have drifted away and are still sort of the undecided, if you will. I guess that's a group you'll be looking at very closely and trying to attract for your campaign.
Well, as I said, with both sides, people are very, very disenchanted with. It is a good time for an independent because they are understanding. They are not as uneducated as people think they are. They are very educated. They know exactly what can really happen. And they know that every 5 years, because that's how our seat rolls, you know that you have 5 years, who choose to go on that side, they go on that side. It's gotten to a point where if you have a family living in one house, because they know how it may play out, 2 take to one side, 2 take to the other, and you do it so that you don't lose out, you know what I mean? So you have to actually living it and understand it. Like I want to tell you, something that bothers me is that I have gone into Bacadé and I see that there are buildings where there is no pitch, there is no, they don't do the road. So I asked, well, why is it? And they told me that area is not done because of the fact that there are UNC people living in that area, those last 3 apartment buildings. So, I can't believe here in Trinidad where we've been divided by certain things, but never this way. It is something new to me. It is something that I think that everyone should know. It is so unfortunate. So things that you never thought about on this road, we have actually seen it happen. We know that, back to what you were saying, we know that this election can't be won on television. It has to be done on foot. You have to go out there and meet every single person and give them a reason why before we decide whether so that they can make up their minds. And that has taken since September to now, because we don't want to be, people are not interested in particular jerseys, and they're not interested in all of the flamboyant that's coming with a party. What they are interested in is, what are you going to do for them this time? San Fernando is so way depressed. When we see Christmas come around and we see how nice we come to Port Said, we feel we're good. We're into something. In San Fernando, when we get our place lighted up, it's because the front is lit up, and then in a day or two, it doesn't light. And, it's just, there is no wow to South. We have tried to do it on our own. When we do it, then, the people that are in charge don't really like that. But there must be more to San Fernando.
I think it's interesting that, given the fact that election campaigns cost money, you obviously decided to look at social media as one of your ways of getting attention. And I remember when you launched your campaign, a lot of people shared your launch picture, which was you with a hard hat on and a little mini sledgehammer. I think I shared it as well, actually. Just making a splash to say, listen, I plan to work, and I'm a different kind of candidate.
That's right. So, and that's exactly what we're proposing. Vernon, anyone who knows me knows that whatever I say I am going to do, I'm going to get it done, and that's for sure. Every time I come on this show, it's because I'm coming to bring to the public something that I'm going to get done. And so I'm happy to say that I've done all of the other things. I've done it in the best way that I know how. I've made it very successful.
And against the odds quite frequently as well.
That's right.
You mentioned Animals Alive. People are saying that's not going to work, and it's in San Fernando.
It's 9 acres of land. It's it's so developed. It's so beautiful that we have so many consulates that are here in Trinidad that come down there, and they can't believe that Trinidad and Tobago, there is something like that here. So, that gives me the extra push to go on and go on.
I suppose it's interesting that winning the national award gives you a certain kind of gravitas as well, doesn't it?
Well,
people will take you a bit more seriously knowing you're a national award winner.
Well, if I tell you the truth, I have taken the award, and I was happy that I got that award because of the animals and so, but I was even more happy because at that time, it was to show that, people are ready for anyone to take charge. People are ready in this country, whether your background, whether what you've done, whether you are different, whether what it is, they are ready. And I was very happy to get that medal. It has been a great pleasure for that.
And when I speak to people about you and your candidature, they always mention the fact that you've got this kind of spunk about you, that you're willing to just take on any little challenge or any big challenge and just push forward with it. But politics in this country is a nasty game, as we've seen recently with allegations being made in Parliament. With previous election, we had goats on stage, all manner of things.
I know.
I mean, are you prepared for that?
I think that last election was the end of that. As you can see, they've shut down all of those talks. I think both sides don't like it. We had Dr. Rowley saying his part, and the PP government saying their part. And I think that has caused a horrific problem for both sides, as you know.
When they make it personal.
Well, especially that way, because the people are not entertaining it. They are not entertaining it. If you ask either side about what they think about what each other is saying, they are not entertaining. They don't want to hear that. They want to know what you are going to do for the people. I've heard these people talk so many times, and I've not been hearing what are they going to do about crime? What are they going to do for us in the country? How are they going to make our lives better? So
it's a lot of mudslinging with not much in terms of content.
Yes, and I am not at all worried about what they can say about me. My life has been an open book. I have my own page, I was saying this morning. So they can go there, they can feel free. But the most important thing that I want them to know is that I am not afraid of a challenge. I'm going to get the job done. Whether win, lose, or draw, we are going to still continue to make that happen. We are not one voice anymore. We are many voices now. And we have made so many new friends. If I knew that San Fernando was as depressed as it is right now, I would have fought a long time ago for those people that I think that really deserves that. And we are going to continue.
You don't even have to see those people. I mean, I hate to use the word those people because it sort of puts people as not the same as us, but you live a fairly civilized life. You run a salon, which is all about beauty, and you can surround yourself with, and largely, like many people, insulate yourself from what's happening out there.
That's right.
But you've chosen to remove that insulation and go into the
right.
communities.
Because I think that I myself have forgotten that there are people that are less fortunate than myself. And I don't want to leave this life without thinking that we did not try our best. And where I am in San Fernando, it is 5 years of one and 5 years of the other, and yet you have to choose your side, and then when that 5 years is over, the other side gets the 5 years, and the people are still being kept at the same point. Their children are being fed the same way. And there's just, they're not encouraged to do. Even if we had encouraged these people to give them more encouragement, bring about more social programs where they live, in Bacadere, a lot of people are afraid to go there, and I don't know why, because we go there all the time. There's a pound there that we go and feed the dogs. We have to go through a hole in the cemetery, but because they lock the gates. But it is something that I just feel it is now an even bigger mission for us.
No, I'm one of your Facebook friends, and I also follow your page, which you set up because journalists do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any negative feedback to you on either of those pages.
That.
And I was almost surprised because it's a nasty society we live in, certainly online. Are you surprised by that? Have you received any negative feedback?
I want to tell you something, is that I have not had anything negative towards me, because people look at me and they know that once they meet me, they know that we're going to work. We could tell you right off, I tell you right off what it's going to happen, what it's going to be like, what are the challenges, and once you're willing to work with me, we're going to make it happen. As I said, we are going to still make it happen, win, lose or draw. I just don't think we're going to lose. Mm-hmm. I think others are going to be very surprised. Which is a good attitude to go in with, yes. Yeah, I think that others are going to be surprised. I also think that with elections coming in very, very close, the gurus are saying that, political analysts are saying that, I think it's even a better position for any independent, because then we can look at every independent body, have them going straight. We can ask for what we want. We will do it moderately, but we can ask for more. Whereas with the PP government, as you know, they hold so many seats, they hold a majority. With Jack Warner, it may not be, he can get plenty because of the fact that at 2010, what it was like. Mm-hmm. However, we're going into a different type of atmosphere where we think that it's going to be very close. I would hate it to be 2020, but I would want it to be 2020.
Because then you can wield influence.
That's
on
right.
either side.
Yeah, because I have two very good leaders. I have two very good leaders who've been in Parliament for most of their lives. I think that either of them would make with a great team. I know that they would make a great Prime Minister. So why not? I wouldn't want to join them. I would love to join either or. But I would want to make sure that we get the people of Trinidad and Tobago understand that with an independent, one or two, we can not only make our constituencies better, we can have a government in line, a government that puts in all of the independent bodies, make them work, make them really independent, So those are our mission. That's our mission, and that's what we're going to do.
What's the reception been like so far when you're on the ground?
Great.
Really?
Yeah, it's giving me the enthusiasm, as you see I have. Mm-hmm. And it's giving me, I would have bowed out if I thought that it would not have worked. But every day that I have people coming to me more and more, because where I am in San Fernando West, it's in the middle of San Fernando West. I'm right here, either side is San Fernando West. And so you've got to pass by me. And, you can walk to everywhere. And as you know, I've lived there all my life, so, I know everyone. I know every single person in San Fernando West. So it's a really advantage because in some way I've touched them all. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's an advantage for me as an independent. But it must be for the people because I have nothing to get, I have nothing to gain, I have everything that I want. I want to just make sure that when we leave, when San Fernando is treated the same way that I see Chagonas is booming, the same way I see Day Bay is booming. We're not. We want that.
Well, we're completely out of time, but independent candidate, Jowelle Souza, I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting thing watching
Yes.
you as you move along, and I'll be
Yes.
following and we'll have you on
Yeah.
again soon. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
very
being
much
here.
for
A great
having me.
pleasure having you
Yes.
on. You've been watching One on One. Join us again tomorrow for another edition.